Welcome to the darkest depths of the human mind. Today, we are exposing the incredibly toxic, deeply manipulative, and highly effective strategies that psychological predators use to dismantle their victims' reality. These are not just theories, these are the actual weapons deployed in boardrooms, relationships, and daily life to gain absolute control. Understanding these mechanisms is the only way to protect yourself. Let us start with the phenomenon known as love bombing. This is the ultimate weapon of the narcissist and the sociopath. In the very beginning of a relationship or a partnership, the manipulator will overwhelm you with intense affection, excessive compliments, grand gestures, and non-stop attention. They will mirror your every interest and claim that you are their soulmate. Your brain gets flooded with dopamine and oxytocin, literally addicting you to their presence. But this is a trap. Once they know you are hooked and emotionally dependent, they abruptly pull away. They become cold, distant, and critical. Because you are addicted to the initial high, you will do absolutely anything, abandon your boundaries, sacrifice your values, and tolerate massive disrespect, just to get that initial validation back. The manipulator now owns you. Next, we must analyze the sinister technique of triangulation. If a manipulator wants to break your self-esteem and make you desperate for their approval, they will introduce a third party into the dynamic. This could be an ex-partner, a favored coworker, or even a total stranger. They will casually mention how amazing, talented, or attractive this third person is, subtly comparing you to them. This immediately triggers your biological competitive instincts and deep-seated insecurities. Instead of getting angry at the manipulator, you start competing with the third party for the manipulator's attention. You are suddenly fighting for a prize you didn't even want, giving the manipulator absolute power and validation. Moving on to cognitive dissonance and the art of forced compliance. The human brain cannot tolerate holding two conflicting beliefs at the same time. If a manipulator forces you to do something that violates your moral code, even something small, your brain will experience intense psychological pain. To resolve this pain, your brain will actually rewrite your own values. It will convince itself that what you did was actually right, or that the manipulator is a good person who deserved it. Cult leaders and abusive partners use this constantly. They make you commit small acts of submission, and your brain rationalizes it, slowly eroding your entire identity until you are fully compliant. Then we have the concept of projection, a defense mechanism so powerful it can completely reverse reality. When a manipulator is guilty of something terrible, such as lying, cheating, or stealing, they will aggressively accuse you of doing that exact same thing. If they are cheating, they will constantly check your phone and accuse you of infidelity. This forces you to go on the defensive. You spend all your energy trying to prove your innocence, completely distracting you from their guilt. By the time the argument is over, they have successfully avoided accountability and made you feel like the villain. We must also explore the dark application of the foot-in-the-door technique. This is how normal people are slowly dragged into horrific situations. A manipulator will never ask you for a massive sacrifice right away. Instead, they ask for a tiny, totally reasonable favor. Can you just watch my bag for a second? Can you cover my shift just this once? Once you agree to a small request, you cross a psychological threshold. You subconsciously view yourself as someone who helps them. When they follow up with a significantly larger request, you are mathematically far more likely to agree because your brain wants to remain consistent with its past behavior. This is how boundaries are slowly chipped away over time until there is nothing left. Now, let us discuss the horrifying reality of sleep deprivation as a tool of control. It is no secret that cults and interrogators use sleep deprivation, but covert manipulators use it in daily life. They will intentionally pick massive arguments late at night, right before you need to sleep. They will keep you up until 3 a.m. arguing in circles. When your brain is exhausted, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logical thinking and defending boundaries, completely shuts down. You become highly suggestible, emotional, and desperate for the conflict to end. In this exhausted state, you will agree to anything, apologize for things you didn't do, and concede entirely just to get some sleep. Let's look at the tactic of intermittent reinforcement. This is the exact same psychological principle that makes slot machines so wildly addictive. If a manipulator is always cruel, you will eventually leave. If they are always kind, you will become bored. So, they randomize their behavior. They give you a massive reward of affection and validation, followed by days of cold, cruel distance. Your brain becomes obsessed with figuring out the pattern. You stay in the